guys, I'm Glenda of Style with Glenda K. Harrison, the place to rediscover life through the lens of style and self-nurturing. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to answer a question that has been asked of me quite a few times, and that is, Glenda, please show us your vintage pieces. So I want to be the first to say that I am not an expert on vintage, though I enjoy it very much. However, I do have a pretty good sense of fashion history. Meaning I can spot 1960s, 1970s, 1980s, 1950s, 1940s, you know, I can spot those pieces. As many of you know, I have studied fashion for a great portion of my life. I studied it on my own, but I also went to the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising. So I do have a pretty good grasp on fashion history. Also, a lot of you notice that if you've been following my blog, The Dig, for quite some time, then you know I enjoy mixing in vintage with modern. It's really fun for me to do that. So for today, I have some of my favorite vintage finds. I have some handbags, some gloves, some jewelry, some belts, a pair of boots, and then I have the apparel that you see behind me. So the first thing I want to do is I want to show you the sweater that I'm wearing now. So this sweater is so beautiful. As you can see, all around it is a beautiful spray of these little beads, little shiny beads. And now most people would say, gosh, Glenda, if you're wearing a sweater like that, it must be for special occasions. But as you see, I have it on with blue jeans. I did wear it before on my blog many years ago when I first got it, with a maxi Kelly green skirt, which was also very pretty. But I don't like to limit myself with my apparel, so even if something looks like it's for evening, I will still wear it for day. Now this sweater was gifted to me, and on the back the tag says Robinsons. Now Robinsons was a part of the Federated Department Stores many years ago. They've now gone out of business. And Robinsons had its heyday, I believe, in the 1960s, 1970s. Now, I placed this sweater around the same time, probably the late 1960s or the early 1970s, just because of the construction of the sweater. As you can see, it has like the satin detail around the arm and the beading, the weight of the sweater, and also the satin detail here where it goes down the front. And on the inside, it has the hook in the eye where you can close it completely shut. So I placed this sweater around the late 1960s, early 1970s, and it's one of my favorites. When I wear it, I usually do wear it with my blue jeans because I don't want to limit this piece. Also, what I'm wearing is a bracelet that you have probably seen quite a bit on my blog. This I picked up at a little vintage store here locally in my neighborhood, and it is a stainless steel, a very heavy chain link, almost like a men's watch. And then on the end, it just has a solid stainless steel charm. There's nothing engraved on it. I couldn't find any type of engraved detail on it at all, but it is stainless steel, and it has quite a nice weight to it. And this, when I purchased it, they said that it came from an estate sale and it was a 1970s piece. One thing that you'll notice, a lot of my pieces seem to be 1970s, 1960s, and I think I probably gravitate toward these items because I was born in 1966, of course, so I started remembering growing up and everything in the 1970s. One of my most fondest memories is playing dress up in my mother's closet. So, of course, in my mom's closet, she would have pieces from the 1960s, 1970s. And so I think that's why I kind of have an eye for those pieces that were made around that time. So as I go through them, you're going to hear me say 1960s, 1970s. I think that's why. But I also like the 1950s, but believe it or not, I don't have anything from that era. One day I'll find something, so I'll keep looking. So I want to go through these pieces and just sit back and enjoy it. This is not a stuffy video. I'm just trying to be really casual about it, okay? So let's just have fun with it. So I have these earrings here. These are so fun. I've worn them to on the blog, of course, and I have worn them to a fashion event that was held at my alma mater. And they, as you can see, they just have these black tassels on them, and they are very long. They hit my shoulders, and I feel really pretty when I wear these. You'll see that there is like an ornate, come in. Is it going to show for you? Oh, I can't get it to come through clear for you. But there is an ornate detail that is holding the tassel. And then the top part almost looks like a pineapple. But they're clip-ons, as most earrings were during, these are the 1970s and late 1970s, early 1980s. So a lot of the earrings that were more had a weight to them were clip-ons, and they don't hurt my ears at all. I've worn them for like a few hours and I did not feel them pinching or anything. So I got these from a vintage show that happens every month in Los Angeles called Pickwick, and that place was amazing. That's all I can say. It was amazing. Like, you have to pay to go into Pickwick. You pay, I think it was $20 in advance. I'm not sure how much it was at the door, but it was worth every penny. I would have paid $100 to get in. There were so many vintage vendors there. I could not get through them all. And their inventory was incredible. Like, there was vintage Gucci, there was vintage Chanel, and then there were just like those unique little finds that didn't necessarily have a name brand attached to them. As you'll see, I have another item. This doesn't have a name attached to it that I can see. I've looked and I don't see anything. But I'm going to show you another little bag that I got from Pickwick that is so incredibly cute. So, and another thing about Pickwick, oh my gosh, when I went, I ran into a famous designer, Jeremy Scott. And Jeremy Scott, you guys, if you are a fashion follower, you know that he has designed for like the biggest names in entertainment. So it was so funny. He was looking at some vintage material, fabric, and he was just bending down, going through this stack of material, and I I stopped and I stared at him, and I think he felt me staring at him. So all of a sudden he looked up and he went like this. And then he kind of looked around like, is this woman looking at me? And I went, oh my gosh, Jeremy Scott. And then he stood up and he was like, you know me? And I went, yes, I know you. I took a picture and everything. I'm going to put it here for you. But I was crying, and he probably thought this lady is a nut. But you have to understand, people. To me, fashion designers are like my rock stars. So where other people scream and holler when they see like a famous singer or a guy that's in sports or a female athlete or whatever, I scream when I see designers. Don't judge. Okay, so moving on with some of my other pieces that I have. This one. This is a vintage Monet, and I love it. The reason why I love it is because during my years of working at a department store that has now gone out of business called the Broadway, I remember selling this, and I worked at the Broadway in 1987, I believe it was. And this was one of the pieces that was in Monet's collection. And so I was so happy when I found it in a vintage shop. The same little vintage shop that's here in my neighborhood. And so I love it. And I also love it because it's ornate, but it's not gaudy. And I also love it because the gold is brushed. I have a tendency to go for more brushed or satin golds, and I love the chunkiness of the chain and the clasp. If you can see the clasp, see, even that has like a little interesting detail to it. So anyway, I love this necklace. I do. I really love it. And I don't even think I paid that much for it. I think I paid $40 for it. And it has a nice weight to it. It's so well made. And what's so interesting, let me tell you guys something. Okay, so in the 1980s, of course, Monet, Trifari, and Napier were some of the biggest costume jewelry that you would find like in our department stores. And then Monet just kind of, and the rest of them just kind of disappeared. You could still find Monet at JCPenney's, but it's not the same kind of Monet of that generation of the 1980s. And so when I still look for Monet, and I look for it on eBay and Poshmark. And it's the Monet from the 80s. And a lot of people are selling these pieces. I don't think I've ever bought one of those Monet pieces for over $12. The reason why I'm telling you this is because a lot of these costume jewelers of today, they are replicating those old Monet, Napier, and Trifari pieces. So what I've been doing is going on Poshmark and eBay and getting the original pieces. And I love them. And I'm paying a fraction of the cost for the original masterminds of those designs. So anyway, that was one of my Monet pieces. So I have a couple of necklaces here. This one I also got at that same vintage boutique in my neighborhood. This necklace is very lightweight. The beads, they just feel like plastic. This was not like a major purchase for me, but I loved it, and it is a 1970s costume piece. I love it because I wear it with, I have like a simple black sheath dress that has like a high neckline, And I love just draping this on there as a pop of color. So I have that black dress, and I wear some high heel black stiletto pumps or sandals, and then just this little beaded necklace. And I love it. See how at the end it just has the same little bauble in the end. I just loved how during those earlier decades that they really put details into what they were making. And then this one is similar. Again, this is not a fancy, expensive piece. I could not find a label on it. I think I probably paid like maybe $3 for it, but I got this at the Pasadena flea market. Right now it's closed because of COVID, but the Pasadena flea market is one that takes place at PCC, or Pasadena City College. And again, this place is amazing. I love to just go there with just like a whole bunch of ones in my pocket, because the people are there to barter. So I have found some really cool pieces there. And I'm not going to show you all the stuff that I have because it would take forever. But those two necklaces are just some of the pieces that I have collected that are not expensive, but they are from the 1960s, 1970s decades. They're just fun pieces that I like to wear. Sometimes I'll just throw them on when I'm wearing a jean and t-shirt, or a button-up white shirt with my white collar popped with the buttons open, and then I just have those pieces draped. Okay, so now this is a new acquisition for me. This I got off of eBay, and I love chain belts. So this is a super long chain belt. And as you can see, it has these little tassels on the end. I haven't even worn this belt. I probably have had it now for like 2 weeks. I got it off of eBay. I don't even remember how much I paid for it, but it wasn't a lot. This was a 1970s piece, and I love it. I just want to wear it with, okay, so imagine this. I want to wear this with a pair of high-waisted denim that are more flare legs, so almost like the modern day bell bottoms, and just have this tied around my waist, and then just have like a fitted t-shirt or tank top, or yeah, just like something fitted, like a bodysuit, a tank top, or a t-shirt that's fitted, and then, you know, the waist, and then have this tied around the waist of the jeans in the belt loops. That's how I see that, with either a cute pair of flat sandals or whatever, and then I could just see myself like going to a museum for the day with that outfit on. Yeah, that's how I see that outfit. We need to open. I need for the museums to open. I love going to museums, by the way. I love going to look at the art. I love going to have lunch. And I love people watching, because people who are into museums, they're the artsy people, and they are always dressed so nice and so creatively. So that's why the museums, please open. I miss you guys. Okay, on to my next purchases. So I have these pink gloves, and they are just like a very, very soft powder pink. They are leather, and they have like a little pearl button closure, and I love them. Let me take this ring off. I don't think I can get them on with that on, but they're very small. These are a size 6. I got these off of eBay, and I've worn them a couple of times, and yeah, these are from the 1960s. I paid, I believe it was $40 for these. I was just happy to find my size. It is so hard for me to find gloves in my size. They're usually like size 7, 7.5. And so when I found these little size 6s, I was very happy. And I love them. Just that very feminine touch of powder pink. It's very pretty. I love it. Okay, now this next one, I have to show you the whole thing. This is how I found these next pair of gloves. Okay, in the original box, and on the box it says Rikes. Rikes was a department store that was in Dayton, Ohio. It was a 7-story department store. And I want to show you. So I looked it up on the internet. So it said on the first floor of Rikes was fine jewelry, costume jewelry, cosmetics, handbags, small leather goods, gloves, scarves, millinery, hosiery, leadworks, Daytona shoes, update sportswear, notions, candy and nuts, the bake shop, the sub shop, stationery, calculators, phone booth, home office equipment, etc., etc. And then it goes into men's furnishings, men's shirting, men's hats. Oh my gosh, it was just like one of those wonderful department stores from the past. So it was a 7-story department store in Dayton, Ohio that was first founded in 1853 as a dry goods company. So I got these gloves at a vintage shop in a little city called Claremont, in the original box with the original tissue paper. And it's all, you know, it's old tissue paper. But inside are a pair of navy blue ombre crescendo gloves. And Crescendo was a popular brand of gloves. Can you see the ombre? It goes light to dark, light to dark. So Crescendo was a popular brand of gloves in the 1960s. And I got these. And you won't believe how much she sold them to me. $10. That's what it says on there. Crescendo gloves, $10. They are a size 6. They fit me perfectly, and I love them. And you can see the little stitch detail around each finger. They're beautiful. They almost feel like a suede. They're not suede though, but they feel like it. And they're beautiful, and I love them. And I will never part with them. One thing about vintage is I always wonder about the stories these pieces have had. I think that's just part of the fun of it, like the history behind each piece. So yeah, this is like one of my most favorite buys. I just love the fact that it's in the original box from Rikes with the original tissue paper. And I just imagine a woman who was so pristine in particular about her items that she just kept them in their boxes tucked away in her dressing table. And that's how I picture them. And that was a good buy. So the next item is one of my fun items that I got from eBay. Bam! This is so cute. Oh my gosh, I wore it on the blog and I dressed it up in a very 1960s kind of go-go kind of style with white boots, a green dress, and then I had this purse. I love this purse. Oh my gosh, look at the beading detail all the way around, and it even has the little knobs at the end so that when you sit it down on the table, the bottom is not touching the table. And it has the kiss lock, and it has a zipper pouch on the inside, and it didn't even look like it was really used. It didn't have any stains or anything on the inside, and the handle even has the beadwork on it. This was so pretty. I got this for $25 off of eBay, and I love it. I love it. This was from the 1960s as well, and I love it. As you can see, I love it. This is a fun purse, and I carry it often. I don't just wear it with the green dress that I showed you here. I also wear it with blue jeans and a summer white dress, and then just this bag. It's just such a pretty pop of color, and every time I wear that bag, someone stops me and says, "Oh my God, where'd you get that bag?" Okay, so the next one is this one. This is the other item that I got from Pickwick, and this is also 1960s. It is, you know, the woven. It's like that, like a plastic type of woven, and it has the little twist lock, and it pops up and it opens, and it has the zippered. It was clean as can be on the inside, and I just love it. It's so cute. It's just the right size for me. I don't really carry big purses and big handbags. Oh, and then the handle, as you can see that detail on there? Isn't that pretty? Yeah, and it has the little feet. I don't know what you call those. They have the little feet on the bottom so that it doesn't touch the floor or the table. So anyway, this was one of my happy purchases when I was at the Pickwick show. So this and the earrings. And Jeremy Scott. So the next two items I'm going to show you are items that belong to my mother. And like I said, I used to play dress up in my mom's closet. My mom, she wasn't like a person that was really into fashion, but she dressed really nice. My mom had really good taste, and so I've inherited a lot of her things. I have all of her jewelry and her handbags, and some of the pieces that I know came from like the 1960s, 1950s, and this is one of them. This cute little patent leather clutch. I happen to love clutch purses. I know a lot of modern day women do not like clutch purses because you feel like you have to keep up with it too much, but I love it. I love the femininity of it, and as you can see on this one, it has like a little mother of pearl detail where the snap is, and it's a little worn and faded, but I don't care because it was my mother's bag, and I'm gonna keep it forever. And hopefully one day pass it on to my grandchildren, my granddaughters. And then this one here, this one was a little lace one that I remember her carrying to church when I was a little girl. And this is one of my favorite ones too. I love it. It's so cute. And I've used both of these quite a bit on my blog. So yeah. Good memories. It even smells like her perfume. And then this one I got off of eBay. This is also from the late 1960s. I love this one because it has like this banana colored, where the closure is, where it snaps together. It has like a banana colored detail. And when you open it, it was a little stained, but that's what you get when you buy vintage. It has the zipper pouch, and it still smells like the perfume also. And this was a great piece for me. I wear this a lot. in the summertime when I have on my whites and my, more lightweight pieces for summer. And because it has the yellow, it picks up a lot of my colors, since yellow is my favorite color. Good buy. Got this one off of eBay. So now that's pretty much my vintage accessories. But I do have two more pieces that I want to show you that weren't vintage when I bought them, but I've held on to them for so long that now they are classified as vintage. So we all know that vintage is, an item is classified as vintage when it is 20 plus years old. So first I want to show you something that my husband bought for me. Now he bought this for me for our first year wedding anniversary. So this man knew who he married, that he bought me an accessory for my first year wedding anniversary that wasn't a diamond ring or diamond earrings or a diamond bracelet, but a belt. He bought me this belt. And let me tell you the story about this belt. Okay, so Nordstrom, the store here in Southern California, they used to have fashion shows in the morning or in the evening, but mostly I would go to them in the morning. And they would just be like, they would open early before the store actually opened. They would open to the people who made reservations to attend the morning fashion show. And they would usually have like a little breakfast. And I mean, these fashion shows were amazing. And I remember this one fashion show, a lot of the styles were these Southwestern looks. And I love Southwestern. Okay, I love that look. And this belt was on one of the models. And I said, oh my gosh, that belt, really loud during the fashion show. The model looked over at me and smiled. And my husband went and got me this belt for our first year wedding anniversary. So this belt is not a cheap belt. This belt was close to $200. And you see how large this is? It's huge. I don't even think I've worn it on the blog yet. I need to wear this for the blog. But this is real jade, and it's just beautifully made. And the leather, and you see the cross stitching there that holds it together. So my husband and I will have been married 30 years this July. So he bought this our first year. I've had this for 29 years. 29 years. And it just looks brand new. So that's one item that is now vintage because I've held on to it for so long, but you won't believe this next one. Okay, so how many of you saw The Breakfast Club starring Molly Ringwald? In that movie, Molly Ringwald had on a pair of Ralph Lauren boots that blew my mind. So here's the story. When I was 17 or 18, somewhere around there, I went to an area called Westwood, which is way out West Hollywood, because it's out there by UCLA, the university, and it was always a cool place to hang out because it was like all the college guys were hanging out there, and then they had really cool stores to shop at. Well, they also had Neiman Marcus. And I had to go to the restroom. So as I'm passing through to find the restroom, I went by the shoe department. And there were the boots. And it said, as seen on The Breakfast Club. So I went home. Oh, first I went over and looked at the boots. And I said, oh, I looked at the price. Oh, I knew I wasn't going to get them. So I went to the restroom, went home, fantasized about the boots, thought about the boots, imagined the boots in my life. and pictured every outfit I could wear with the boots. Finally, I decided to do the thing that I had to do. I wrote my parents an essay. I wrote them an essay explaining why I wanted the boots so bad and that I would keep the boots for the rest of my life. So I wrote the essay and I pinned it up on this board that was in our kitchen in my childhood home. I wrote it and I pinned it on this board and I went to bed. When I woke up in the morning, pinned to the essay was the money to get the boots. These are the Molly Ringwald Ralph Lauren boots from the Breakfast Club. I have had these boots since I think I was 18 years old, and they are tattered and they are beat up. I only wear these on occasion. I will never part from these boots. As I said in the essay, I said that I would keep them for the rest of my life, and I truly do mean that. I will keep these boots for the rest of my life. So that's it for the accessories. Now we're going to move on. Going into the apparel, and the first one that I want to show you is this top, and it is by Jack Winter. I got this off of eBay and I love the colors. I love those kind of golden yellow with caramel mixed with white paisley. And the thing that I love most about this shirt is this super 1970s fly collar. Isn't that fun? So yes, this shirt is polyester and it does get quite hot. And I love the detail. The buttons have that same kind of a caramel color there, and it matches going down the front. And I love just wearing this with a good old pair of blue jeans. So yeah, again, I got this off of eBay. I don't think I paid that much for it. I don't really remember, but I'm sure it probably wasn't more than $20. But yeah, Jack Winter. The other thing I want to say is, for those of you who have been around for some time with my platform, you know that I love shopping eBay, and I do. I love shopping eBay. I have found some amazing things on there. The reason why I enjoy it is because I love the hunt. I love it. I know some people don't like to hunt. They want to just go in the store and I'll take what's on the mannequin. But I'm not like that. I like to create a wardrobe where it's interchangeable and it has vintage and modern and really unique pieces that no one has. Well, if you want that, I highly suggest utilizing eBay and Poshmark, but I prefer eBay. So the next item I want to show you, I got this from the Buffalo Exchange. For those of you who don't know the Buffalo Exchange, it's like one of those resale shops where you can buy, you can also sell your items to them. All-purpose coat. When I looked up Tuckster, they were from, again, the 1970s. Late 1960s, 1970s. But I like it because of these old brass buttons. It's double-breasted. And as you can see in the video, this pocket here is just a fake flap. The actual pocket is on the side. So it's just like a normal pocket that you would have on a coat. But then this is just for decoration, that flap. But I love the color of this, kind of like a goldenrod, and it's not too heavy, and it has almost like an A-line shape to it. So it kind of flares out as you get toward the bottom. So yeah, that's Tuckster. Okay, so the next two dresses are from a designer that was popular in the 1970s. Her name was Ramona Rull. Rull. Ramona Rull. And if you search on Etsy, eBay, some Poshmark, you will find tons of Ramona Rull, but especially on Etsy. And that is where I got these two pieces. Now, this one here, I've worn on the blog, and I'll put a cutaway there for you. See the name? Ramona Rull, if you could see that. This one has the kind of like gold thread and little details there, little gold details, threading, and it's almost like a zebra. It has the poofy sleeves. This is almost a maxi dress on me, but Ramona Rull was popular for making like caftans and what you call muumuu style dresses. And I actually wear these dresses where, you know, back in the day, muumuu dresses were kind of like house dresses. But for me, I like wearing these dresses, like dressing them up and wearing them. So this one I actually wore to a fashion event. I had on some beautiful high heel black strappy sandals and gold jewelry. And I had a black clutch purse. And I'm telling you, this is a real story. So my husband and I were attending the Emmy's costume gala that was happening at my alma mater, the Fashion Institute. And we were in one room looking at an exhibit. And I was just standing there minding my own business, me and my husband, and we were looking at the exhibit. And this man, I heard this man off from my side say, "Oh my God, you look glorious." I didn't know he was talking to me. I turned around and he was looking right at me. He goes, "You look amazing. Where did you get that dress?" And I told him, I said, "I got it off of Etsy. It's a vintage 1970s Ramona Rull." And he said, "Do you mind if I take a picture of you?" And I said, "No, take a picture." So anyway, that was this dress. Fun, loose, a great dress to wear. It's fun, but I don't think people expect you to have on something like this. Here's another one. This is also Ramona Rull. I love this one. I love all the colorful flower embroidered, and it has like little, within each flower you can see there's like a little mirror. And this dress I wore one day. I've worn this one a lot too, but in before COVID happened, my husband and I drove down to Temecula, which is Southern California's wine country, and we had lunch on a winery. And I had this dress on with a pair of little tie-up flat little gold sandals. Yeah, 1970s Ramona Rull. The next dress is one of my favorites. This is a maxi dress, as you could see in the cutaway. And it has the smocking up here, front and back, and it's extremely sheer, so I have to wear a slip underneath it. Every time I wear this dress, I get stopped. "Oh, you look so nice. Where did you get that dress?" This dress is made by, it says Jack Kramer. And when I looked it up, Jack Kramer was famous for making prairie dresses in the 1970s. So this one I actually got off of eBay. And I paid $45 for it. And I love it. Okay, so now the pièce de résistance. Recently, I went to a little vintage store that's in the city over from me. And I was just piddling about and I saw this dress here. And I held it up and looked at myself in the mirror. You couldn't try it on because of, COVID. And I looked at that dress and for some reason I put it back. And then when I got home, I could not stop thinking about that dress. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? Why didn't I get it? So my husband and I were going out to dinner and I said, please, before we go to dinner, I want to stop and get that. I want to go see that if that dress is still there. So we went back to the store and we had to wait in line because they would only allow I think it was 15 people in the store at a time. So we had to wait in line. And as each person went in the store, I was looking at their bags to make sure they didn't have that dress in there. So finally we got in and I ran to the back of the store where they held the dresses. And there it was. Oh my God. The dress was still there. This is a 1970s dress made by a Hawaiian company. And from the front, it just looks like a long dress. It's a maxi dress on me, as you can see in the cutaway. But the back of it, oh. You guys, this detail right here, how it pleats, it is so pretty on. It is like one of the prettiest dresses I've ever worn. And I mean that. When I put this dress on, when I got home, I was like, it took my breath away. It's so pretty. And it fit me to perfection. So somewhere, somebody was 5'1" and had the same measurements as me, because this dress fit me like a glove. And I didn't have to hem it. I didn't have to do anything with this dress. And depending on when you see this video, I will have already posted myself in this dress for a blog photo shoot because I just had to showcase it. It is stunning. So that is this is my favorite vintage piece. It really is. This and my boots that I had to write my essay for. So many. Like I said, there is something so special about vintage because I always think of the life that they lived before me and the story behind it and what fashion was like in those earlier decades. It definitely is not the fashion of now. Fashion then was so different. And items were made with such impeccable detail, just so different from today. I almost feel like, and this is no joke, that ready-to-wear vintage pieces are almost like couture because they didn't mass produce clothing like they did now. And so when you find these pieces, you realize you're getting something that isn't just like all over the place. Even like with these Ramona Roll dresses, it's really hard to find the same exact one that I have. Like, I think I maybe have seen one other of this one with the embroidery, but I've never seen this one. So it's like you're getting this like this one of a kind. So it kind of feels like you're getting a vintage piece from the past, and I love it. And I wanted to share that with you guys, and I thank those who sparked me to do this video with their questions, and I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. This is probably one of my longest videos I've ever done in just free form, not a lot of editing and so forth. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And I hope you would subscribe and interact with the video, because when you interact with the video by giving it a thumbs up, leaving a comment, it tells YouTube that you're interested. This is something that you want to see. And it also lets me know what you want to see. So again, thank you. If you are not subscribed to the Style with Glenda K. Harrison community, the website, I invite you to do so at www.glendakharrison.com. In the meantime, bye butterflies.